Okay, so I made this long video of our Perforce issues, so I'm still going to post that, but I'm going to shove this smaller video right in front of it in the same video. So first things first, to get diff set up in Perforce, you can go to Preferences, Diff, and then you're going to add. Click this Add button here. It's going to give you this menu, usset, .usset, and then you're going to do -diff. But before the -diff, you need to put the path to your um, Unreal installation. So you're going to have to do all that. Now, make sure there's a space. The application is also going to be in this location, wherever your Unreal installation is, and you're going to go to Win64, and then there's Unreal ABCD. There it is, Unreal Editor. So you're going to grab this. This is actually not to be confused with the installation of Unreal. This actually needs to be your project file. So an example here, you go edit to the one I already made, is this is the file for Unreal, but then this is your project file. So you want to get something like this going and make sure it's .usset. So once you have that set up, you can come in here and you can run diffs against old things. I deleted the corrupt stuff that was causing errors for the game to load. See, so we can kind of grab this guy and we can do a diff against. The bottom one should just stay ticked to latest revision for the most part. And then for specify revision, you can go to change list. And let's just roll it back some ancient version. Hit diff. Okay. Maybe it needs to be a little bit closer up. Yeah, this one has something. 45. So you can hit diff. I have Unreal running, but it seems like it wants to boot up another thread. And it failed. Okay, I can't tell you why it failed. Sometimes it does that. So, okay, let me show you a better way that I just recently learned how to do. So, all right, we're inside the editor, and we have our menu here. So you can right click, and there's a nice little revision control box. And so you can do a history. It'll give you a sweet little history here of what changed. This is handy, and then it looks like we can even right click and diff against workspace file. So this should see what's currently there versus what's different now. And this is much faster, significantly faster. I think what you might want to do is this way instead of doing it through Perforce, because you have to load up from the outside. And not to say that that doesn't have its place, but this appears to be significantly much better experience, and you can just easily roll into just more specific diffing. It's just faster. Okay, so there's that. Now, there's also diff against depot, which this should be your local version versus what's up in the depot, which in this case it should be the same, I would guess. I don't think I've made any changes yet. I don't know why it thinks there's changes, because I haven't made any change yet today. Okay, well, I can't explain every little thing, but anyways, this should help a lot with figuring out what's been modified and stuff. So with a combination of looking at the history change list stuff here, which they have a view for this, the rev graph. So it'll draw up this rev graph here. And so this is, again, not the best view, but if you're wanting to quickly narrow down what changed, this view could kind of help express which changes and what happened recently. And then from there, within Unreal, you can narrow down specific files, because when you're looking at all the files and stuff, it can be pretty taxing to try and figure out where things are and what changed. But again, I'll try to be very clear and communicative about what was modified, so we can save that time of digging around. Alright, so this next part of the video is the first video I made, which has a lot more detail and all of the troubleshooting, so you can skip this unless you want to understand how we got to where we were. But in general, there was some corrupt files, deleted them, you should be fine loading the project now. Alright, here's Perforce, and we're gonna try and figure out how to diff blueprints. So edit preferences, probably diff, and here we go. Okay, so the extension is going to be .u asset, the application. So we need to find our Unreal binary. So I gotta look for mine. I'm gonna take a look real quick and find it. Okay, found it here. So when you find your Epic installation, Epic UE4 or UE 5.3, engine binaries Windows 64, and then it says to use this. So we'll grab that, and then the arguments, it says, this is years old, so it could be wrong. It says minus diff %1, %2. There's a space in between those. So hit save. Cool. Alright, now let's try and diff something, like something I know I edited recently. So if we go to arg, messing with the card a lot. So let's see if we can right click, diff against have revision. That's such weird language. Okay, so diff file against first, second. Huh. How do I know? Okay, so I guess you can do change list and then this. I do put notes in here, like comments. So, okay, so there's that. So we can kind of move back to, let's just diff it between that version. There should be a change there. Really? Okay, well that's fun. Let's try this one. Get that. There's no way those are identical. Let's roll it back further. Okay, this might take a while to load because I don't have Unreal open yet, so we'll see what happens. There we go. I'm going to pause. Real quick though, you can see editor 5.3.2 in there. Okay, so this is what I got. It doesn't seem correct exactly. So I'll crack this open. Maybe when I have it open and then I do this, it'll work, but we'll see. Oh, okay, so I guess, yeah, by selecting the project, then it came up. So this is what I see. So this is showing a difference. Revision head. That date looks wrong, but local revision head. So I'm not sure which is which here. And I can probably tell because I made the changes. I want to say typically when you're using a diff, the old version tends to be on the left and the new version tends to be on the right. So that doesn't seem to be the case here. What seems to be the case is the opposite, because the variables, this was the earlier version of the card hand, where all I had was card scale and the spleen. But over here, this is more recent, where there's a lot more variables that we're tracking. So I know that this one's the more current. But that's a little misleading, because local revision suggests that this is what is on my disk right now, but that's not the case. Okay, so we can kind of explore this a little bit. Interesting. Okay, I think it's inverted. So it's saying that these things have been deleted, but that is not true. Okay, so I think that tells me how to use this better. I'm going to leave this open. I have an instinct to close it out, but I'm going to leave it open. And then we're going to do a diff, but this time, so by first path, I think this means the older thing. So we want latest revision down here. And then first path would be the older thing. So if we can specify a revision, change list, which is a little bit more intuitive, then let's diff. Oh wow, it's gonna kick it up again. Seems to be a little faster this time, but that's still kind of heavy. Oof. Wow. Okay. Man, that is heavy-handed. Maybe there's a way to get it to not load up this whole thing. It says in the notes here in the forums, you need to specify a project path before -diff. So I will try that. I'll read this real quick and then come back. Okay, so what I just did failed and it crashed. So I don't try to diff. Just send and close. Okay, so what it said to do was go back in here and here in diff, we're going to edit this, and it says before you need to specify the project path. Full path right here. So we got to find our project path real quick. Okay, so I dug out my path to the project, which this is a little wacky to me, because what if I have multiple projects? You're telling me I have to come in here and like change this to get the diff to work? It's not really super stable. Fortunately, I only have one on this machine, and my other Unreal project was just a game jam, but if I do another game jam with collaboration, I guess I'd have to come in here and mess with this. Okay, so I'm pointing it to this project, and everything else is going to be the same. Oh, what? Oh, did I hit add? I'm a little confused here. What just happened? Didn't I just edit this? Why are there two? What? Wow, I am not getting this interface here. Okay, I'm gonna remove that. There shouldn't be two. Edit. Okay, I'll just repaste that. Okay, save. And that's driving me nuts. I'm just gonna delete this whole thing. I have to start over. It worked fine the first time. I'm not sure why it's behaving this way. So I'm gonna copy this whole thing. Just gonna remove both of them. I'm gonna start over. Add .u asset. I'll just replace this here. And grab the application again, which hopefully, yeah, it still had that remembered. Okay. It's called like Unreal Editor. Go back, I gotta find that exact name. A few years ago it was called UE4editor.exe. But I think now it's just called Unreal Editor.exe. ECD. use that. Okay, save. All right, so now we have one, and hopefully that is, yeah, that looks right. So apply, okay. Try this again. Diff file against. So I think that theory, latest revision, this should be true. Like that should stay there, and this should be a certain version. Okay, cool, that's handy. So you can kind of see what changed in here. So we can see the BB card hand was changed on revision 50, and it was also changed here, 51. So we should be able to do that. Diff. Two files are identical. Okay. Not sure what it means by it was changed then, or was included in the change list. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'll say this is not as smooth of experience as Git. However, Git is terrible with binary files, and it starts to get really expensive. So, kind of have to deal with this poison a little bit. Although, I will say whenever the visual diff works with Unreal, it is really nice. And I don't remember how I triggered it before. There is a way to do it within the editor, but you can't, as far as I know, you can't go back to a version past. Like you can only go back one version within Unreal. And so to see previous further back versions, you have to come in here and go around. Which if we do that real quick, like say trying to think of I was looking at change lists not too long ago. RevGraph. So if we like do content or even just like developer, I think content's probably a better thing. And you do RevGraph. My concern is going to take a long time. I'll just do developer so I can do it recursively. So it popped up this tool here. And it shows all the changes, and I guess you can turn things off from the graph. Looks like I've messed with a lot of stuff in here. This isn't the most intuitive view. Wow. This feels a little wacky, but it does work. So it shows you the changes, and I was hoping that these numbers would correspond to commit changes. So like that's 19. Okay, I think it does. Yeah, so these like 52, it shows you what was changed, and so you can narrow it down probably. So if you're only concerned with ships, for example, then you can see which commits that was affected by. Like, so 38 seems to be a big one, 43. Then there's 151 here. That was the last tutorial video I just did. So it's not the most pretty thing, but it does tell you what file changed. Click on it. Yeah, you can't right-click trigger the diff from here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, then you can do diff file against. So this interface here could prove useful if you're trying to see what changed. Although I think a part of working on a team is just communicating well, so I will try to do that much better. Like, try to explain what I'm doing. In each change, I'll put better commits, and then I should have like a video or something to just, because I think that would be easier than sitting here fussing with this. But it is still something that is available, you know, to learn. And it looks like it worked. It just came right up too. So it says added variable card rotations, added variable card spacing. Cool. Yeah, so it's showing that what was added. Class settings. Oh, nice. I was really worried about this. I made a change to the spleen, and I like took a screenshot of the settings because I knew it was in revision control, but I didn't know how to do this yet, and so I was concerned I wouldn't get that diff, which doesn't look like it's really helping me very much. Like, it's not showing me. Yeah, it's not showing me the diff. I think the data is like in here. It's in selected points or something. So that's unfortunate. It is not showing me the numbers. And that's what I was afraid of. Because the spleen has like these hidden children data points, and I cannot see them, which is which isn't a terrible problem because I can open up the editor and see them. But yeah, it's not giving it to me. So yeah. Anyways, glad that I did screenshot that and it turned out to work anyways. I didn't need to back it up, but yeah, all of those changes it's not showing because I don't think their visualizer supports it, is my guess. Go ahead and full screen this. These boxes here are because when you open the project, one of them is asking to, one is about the controller, and then the other one's about an input file changing, and so it's a little obnoxious, but it pops up every time. I can probably say don't show this again, and then whenever we're diffing, it won't happen, but oh, nice. Okay, this is what I was hoping to see was the visuals. Yeah, so now you can see we added this node to track card rotation so we can restore the card rotations. I started making more arrays. These are dummy arrays to test the card spawn to just quickly see how many cards are stable in the algorithm. Cool. Yeah, this is great. This is what I was hoping to see because this is much more intuitive than just, hey, it changed. And what changed though? And if you try and like, I don't know, yeah, I don't even know what you do. Like some of these are like kind of pointless. All these things here tracked all those things, but we don't care. Um, it even has it. I moved the position of these because I did change. I slid them all over to make space. It has moved node. Wow, it's very detailed. Cool. I'm really happy with this. This is going to be helpful for collaborating in just any project with Unreal because it's starting to get more complex, as you can see with this blueprint. So it'll certainly be handy. Certainly be handy for learning and stuff. And then I can review my own code this way, which I kind of hesitate to even call this code, but it is. It's definitely code. It's just not as efficient as written code. While we could also do what is called C++, it's evident that the way that they've built Unreal, they really lean in towards Blueprint. So we want to, at best, build Blueprint modules in C++ and then finish it out and integrate it to the game using blueprints. So I'm really trying to sink into this and learn what they've got to offer. So that's nice. I'm gonna leave that open. Maybe it'll open faster for this next thing. So another thing that I messed with was the ships. Did I actually make a change though? No, I don't think I made a change. So there was a crash that you were having. That you haven't made a change in a while. It says it's checked out. Can I see who checked it out? See that little lock there? It says it's checked out. So I didn't, maybe I never checked it in. Yeah, I'm trying to see, how do I see who, I don't want to open it. File history. Exclusive checkout. Did I somehow check this out and never commit it back? So, I don't know, it looks like it only has one change. This one has changed a couple times. And it also says it is logged. Yeah, why is this so, why can't it just tell me like who has it checked out? Does it mean that I have it checked out? Because what if we were working on a team of like 10 people? Like, wouldn't I need to know who is messing with this file? So it looks like my name's here. Over here, it says nothing. Pending. Who has pending? Is it me? Is it on my machine? Yeah, these are the kind of things like, it's usually pretty straight. Like Git doesn't work this way. Like you can have two different versions of a file and then y'all can decide later. I don't know, I guess I must have it locked. So I'll go into the editor and try to unlock it real quick. Oh, another thing I'll try to do, it's loading in the background. One thing I'll try to do is, well, let me do that. It's going to try and right click on it and diff files against. Weird. It won't let me select the latest version for this file. What is that? Latest diff. Two files are identical. Yeah, super weird. Yeah, it could be my bad where I've maybe somehow checked this thing out and you can't download it? That doesn't make sense. Like you should be able to download. All right, we'll say just don't show these again, so that way it doesn't make that weird black thing. And okay, so is it art trinkets? Where was it? Oh, yeah, I moved it. It's an octahedron and notes octahedron, so then this doesn't appear to be correct. Look at that. That's not right. That's not in the right spot anymore. How did that happen? It's in here. What? But so it's in it's in this. Okay, so when you click on a file or a folder, it gives you a history, which is handy. But at some point, this should have been deleted. It somehow is being kept. But if I come in here, it's gone. Can I open up the source file? Let me just go to my content, developer, developers. Okay, I don't know what that folder is. It says developer. Trinkets doesn't even exist on my local machine. That is weird. It should have gotten deleted or moved. Okay, so then I guess I can just delete it from the repository to clean that up, but I don't know. Oh, look at that. There's a change list here that's not being captured. I guess when I deleted it, it did not. Oh man, I don't even understand what happened here. Can I send this up? Submit change list. So this, I think the red check mark, yeah, it says it's checked out. This file's open for add. Check in, missing files. Not even sure how this happened. Failed to check in files, which that makes sense if they're missing, but how do I remove the checkout? Yeah, I'm not really sure how to like get rid of it. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me. Because I've deleted and moved folders around before, so I don't really see why this one is so different. And it's already gone, so you think it would have griped. Like Git is a lot more controlling about these sorts of things. You can't just kind of keep going whenever there's something corrupted like this. You just... And how would we detect this? I guess I have to just check this list. Which I do submit things. I guess that green check mark is deceptive. Do I have to revert and delete again or something? Like, okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, so revert unchanged file. I did to try and add it back to my folder. That's what I'm curious. Yeah, it did. That is whack. I don't even get it. It's a little annoying because I gotta blast it again. So I'll just... Yeah, it's confusing. Okay. So there's something with deleting folders in Unreal where it really doesn't handle it super well. Like you can do it, but it kind of balks something to do with the undo functionality, I think. So what I'm going to try, I'm going to delete these individual items first, and then I'll come back and blast the folders. See, like, but it doesn't show something being erased. Like, what the heck is it doing? So if I want to submit view changes, so I should have deleted just one thing. Yeah, X, mark for delete. That's what it should be. Okay, so let's try that again. All these are just like test files. I don't need them. Yeah, it's got like these references. Yeah, I guess that's being referenced somewhere. I can leave that one alone for now. This one's also referenced, but didn't I just move them into notes? So what's confusing is like, it's still here. I just moved it. See? So okay, these shouldn't be necessary. It's almost like they are retaining some ID still. It's actually letting me delete the folder. That's nice. Yeah, so I should be able to replace references. Yeah, just... this is confusing. Why would I save this? I'm trying to delete it. Replace references. I guess this stores references. Very confused. Okay, whatever. Let's try that. Yeah, see, this is really annoying. It complains about it being like in the history. color array. So this one should be in notes. Same thing, I suppose. Okay, so we should. Yeah, see that? Look at that. That's not actually doing the right thing. I don't want it to. It says it's checked out, not deleted. And so I'm wondering if that's not going to actually erase it. This has got to be some kind of bug. I have to bring it back to delete it. I don't want to check it out. I want it to go away. So I think we just have to do a force delete on it. This little scary message here isn't relevant because I already know that the scene is referencing the new one anyways. Force delete. Yeah, there we go. So now it's gone. So if we can try to submit these things here, how do I do that again? Force delete. Hanging test assets. Let's try that. Hopefully that cleans it up so we're not getting this junk. Refresh. There we go. So now it's gone. Okay, so that was a long-winded troubleshooting session for Perforce and Unreal, but hopefully that helps us at least learn something about how to use this tool better, and maybe going forward we'll have less issues. I'll be sure to check. I'll be really careful when I'm deleting things. I think what happened is last time when I went to erase it, it gave me that scary message about the references, and it was fine, but I did that thing where I replaced the references, and then instead of deleting it, it just checks it out, and then it sits in limbo. So it deletes it from my machine, but it sends the wrong signal to the source control, and so the source control doesn't delete it. That's very challenging to suss out, you know. So sorry about that. I'll be more careful next time. What else do we have here? I think that's it. We figured out how to diff. If you're inside of Unreal and you make a change to something, diffing is a little bit easier. Like you can, okay, here we go. So it's in the content menu. So this doesn't make a ton of sense for, actually, no, yeah, let's do it this way. So let's do like BP card. Yeah, so here's one. WBP card image and description. So these guys are probably similar. So we can go like this. Click 2. And then there should be a diff selected. Yeah. And then it'll give you the same kind of view. And so this is really handy for, actually this is, it's not showing you much. Okay. Yeah, this is really handy for if you have, like before we can genericize a pattern, this allows us to kind of see what's in common and what's not. So if you know two things are similar, which you can see that these are very similar, there's not much difference there. But something a little bit more sophisticated like this, these two, they're both lists, but they're different kinds of lists, and so you can see how they're different. So anyways, yeah, so it can be done within Unreal, but now we can kind of do it with the version control with a little bit of tedium and just getting used to it. Okay, that's enough for now. I'll stop.